Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for what is going to be another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update. As always, if you are new to this channel and finding yourself on my videos for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one around 1 p.m. UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets. That's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. Yesterday, Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, was actually on Fox News or Fox Business talking about a Bitcoin ETF and the kind of shock that he's had since facilitating one. And then he actually spoke on what the SEC may be about to do or may not be about to do in regards to Ethereum. We are then going to be diving over into some Ethereum news. We had Fidelity yesterday filing for a Ethereum spot ETF. And I believe today or yesterday also, we had Bitwise also filing for an Ethereum spot ETF. And remember, we do believe a ETH ETF is coming based on ETH BTC and the move that we're expecting out of that, meaning Ethereum's going to gain ground against Bitcoin and, of course, ETH dominance. And then we'll be wrapping things up by taking a look at Bitcoin, where it's currently at, and, of course, referring to the total too, which is essentially the altcoin market that we think is heading towards $3.7 trillion. So let's start things off with the first clip of Larry Fink talking about their Bitcoin spot ETF and his amazement with it.
Look, I'm very bullish on the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was going to say, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that's gone up. I mean, look, it is. We're creating now a market that has more liquidity, more transparency, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would never have predicted it before we filed it, that we were going to see this type of retail demand.
So you thought you'd do good, but not this good.
I thought, yes. Yes,
well,
definitely.
IBIT is your ETF over at iShares.
Yes.
It's about to overtake Grayscale, which was in the business certainly a lot longer. You look at the gains since January 11th when it first came about.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this much inflow this quickly into
IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs.
Quite frankly, amazing. The largest hedge fund manager in the entire world is essentially bullish on Bitcoin. And not only that, Bitcoin, their IBIT ETF is the fastest growing ETF ever. There is a real movement, a revolution that's taking place that Bitcoin has spawned. And I don't think it's long before altcoins start to bask in that sun. And a big part of that is getting over regulatory hurdles. We've got lots of lawsuits in lots of different places as it refers to the SEC versus the crypto space. I happen to think, even Edward Snowden chiming in on this in regards to the Coinbase one, I actually happen to think that Coinbase are going to win their lawsuit. I think that's going to bring broader clarity. We are getting little wins here and there, although 2 days ago, the SEC or the judge actually denied Coinbase's motion to kind of quash the SEC versus Coinbase case. But we are, very bullish. Why is Bitcoin putting a new high for the first time ever pre-halvening from its prior high of the last bull market? It's because of the institutional inflows and involvement. And I think this is going to continue. You're going to see very much a similar thing with Bitcoin in regards to what happened with gold back in 2004 when it had its ETF, or the SPY back in 1994 when it got its ETF. You see this real flow of capital into it. It becomes more of a staple in people's portfolio. That is nothing short of what's happening with Bitcoin right now. Let's dive over and listen to what he had to say in regards to Ethereum when asked.
The SEC, there's lots of noise about them declaring Ether a security, which would take it out of the Bitcoin category as a commodity. How does that translate into an ETF?
I don't think that, look, and I really can't talk about it, but I don't think that designation is going to be that deleterious to.
Oh, really? So even if it's a security, you can start an ETF, an ETH ETF?
I think so, yeah.
Very interesting. Now, he basically said that he doesn't think even if Ethereum is going to be classified as a security, that it's going to be too detrimental. I think the detriment would come to the broader crypto space. If these assets were classed as securities, things like staking would become very cumbersome. The sort of mechanisms that actually operate, the consensus that actually operates many of these proof of stake blockchains would be, there'd be a lot of hurdles and a lot of challenges put in place. Could the cryptocurrency market survive if it was classed as securities? Well, I think it could, But the optimal kind of approach to this is classifying them as commodities, as they are utility tokens for the most part, and they play a vital part in sort of maintaining the network. I don't understand how they've gone from Ethereum is not a security to now Ethereum is a security. We saw some interesting things in regards to Prometheum, which is apparently the only special purpose broker dealer when it comes to crypto. They actually kind of hinted that they think Ethereum is a security. And I think the SEC is definitely going for that. Even though Gary Gensler, when he worked at MIT, previously said that he didn't think that was the case. But we'll see. You know, a big part of this space getting to where it needs to go is getting that regulatory clarity. We've seen Bitcoin be a perfect example of that. I do think Ethereum, based on what we're looking at, is going to get an ETF. And let's talk about Ethereum ETFs. And let's start with yesterday's news. So we had news from James Seyfarth. Brilliant second name. Update, Bitwise Invest just filed a S1 for their Ethereum ETF. They have not filed a B19 for. It's interesting how we're all learning how ETFs or the proposals of them are working. And this is the beautiful thing about crypto. It's brought people into the broader financial space, which is integral to everybody's life. He then goes on to say, spoke too soon. Bitwise just filed a 19B4. It just hit the New York Stock Exchange website a minute ago. So this is going through the same kind of lineage that a Bitcoin spot ETF went through. Of course, Larry Fink has came out previously, said he doesn't think Ethereum is a security. But then in that interview, he kind of said, well, even if it was, it wouldn't make that much of a difference to them. They could still facilitate it. It's my opinion that these won't get classified as securities. But this is very interesting. You know, we're seeing BlackRock themselves file for an Ethereum spot ETF. We're seeing Bitwise now into the race. And of course, 2 days ago, I believe it was, Fidelity filed an S1 for their Ethereum spot ETF. This is not an amendment. This is their first. They had only filed a 19B4 until today. So they also included staking in regards to this. Of course, this is the SEC Gov website. So things are moving in the right direction. And ultimately, why do we predominantly think, because I'm not really an ETF analyst and I don't really know the probabilities of all this from that point of view, from the kind of fundamental point of view. But what I am is a technical analyzer, and I think ETH BTC is setting up for a massive move to the upside where you're going to see Ethereum gain ground against Bitcoin. I think that news is very much what's in the pipelines that we've just looked at in regards to an Ethereum ETF. This is going to have broader ramifications for the entire cryptocurrency space. It's not just one swallow a summer make. You know, if we look at ETH dominance, we think Ethereum is about to move from 16% of the market, the total cryptocurrency market, to around about 37%, providing this pattern plays out. So that is, in my opinion, very much hinting at an Ethereum ETF. And I just want to pull something up very quickly in regards to, just like Bitcoin being one of the best performing assets in the world, the fastest growing ETF ever, you know, that doesn't just stop with Bitcoin. So you can see you've got Bitcoin, ETH, digital assets have been the best performing assets in 11 years of the 14 years. You know, when people look to construct a portfolio, they look for diversification. They also look for what's done well and what hasn't. And you can see BTC, ETH, and I believe Solana's institutionally status. I think there was some really funny business that went on with FTX, and I think it was very much a Trojan horse, and it was all controlled and sort of manipulated and deemed or meant to be that way. And I think that there's definitely, they've done something with Solana. Maybe they got the lion's share when it was all the way down. Who knows? Bit of speculation. But something magnificent is coming for the space at large. We still haven't really seen that alt season. We still haven't seen BTC dominance roll. Let's talk about Bitcoin, where it's currently at today. It is still consolidating around all-time highs. Remember, it did the exact same thing back in the previous cycle. We do have technical targets for $151,000, and we do think it gets above and beyond there. The real interesting chart for me is others dominance. Sorry, not others dominance. The total 2, which is the altcoin market. It's currently sits at $1.1 trillion. We believe it's going to get to 3.7. So that's over a 3x from where it currently is. And I don't think this is going to take too long to do so. I think this is all going to be coupled with the ETH ETF application, the broadest ramifications it has for the altcoin market. There's lots of really insane things going on. Since we looked at the potential for this to interact as a key level of significance, it's done exactly that. And you can see you are now forming this right shoulder, that if it stands and it breaks here, this is a puny right shoulder, giving you kind of confidence to the fact that the pattern is likely to play out. So That is really all I've got for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section in regards to what you think about what Larry Fink has said in both clips. We are going to get an Ethereum ETF. That's going to have broad ramifications for the entire cryptocurrency space, give a little bit more clarity on it, and ultimately see it do very well. Remember, technically, we're looking at things that are signaling this. And on top of that, we're very bullish on the space as a whole. Happy Easter, everybody. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.